So welcome everyone. We are so happy to be with you today. Today we have a special activity for the Sakadawa. So Lama Samten will explain the meaning of this day today. So I will just introduce a little bit Lama Samten, who will give the talk today. I'm Jason. I will assist Lama Samten for translation. So Lama Samten was born in Tibet. He became monk there at the Ganden monastery. And after he went to India to pursue his studies in the same monastery that was rebuilt in South India. So after that, he was invited to visit Canada and US. So they made a tour for 1 year with 10 monks from their monastery. So they made a lot of friends and met so many people. And there were people interested. So to learn about Buddhist philosophy and meditation. So that's why Lama Samten, after he came back to Canada to visit, he was thinking coming just to visit for a few weeks or few months. But after he saw the big interest of people and after he stayed, so he founded the Paramita Center. So now it's more than 20 years. So now we continue to have more activity. Now before Lama Samten, he was just starting activity in Quebec, in Quebec City. After we have more activity like in Montreal, different places in Quebec province. And after he was invited also to France and other countries in Europe. And after we opened also in Toronto. So now today I'm in Toronto and Lama Samten is in the Paramita Center in Quebec. So we are so happy to be with you today. So welcome and good activity with us. Thank you.
Okay. Trashi Deleg, everybody, welcome. We are Central Paramita. We are so happy you are coming us this evening, this morning. You are welcome. So today with this activity, we a little bit short introduction in Sakadawa, this term, what is important. Then we just to share in compassion teaching, information, compassion, and Buddhista. Then after we do short meditation with compassion. Yeah, just we do 3 subjects, yeah. But my English, you know, is not so enough. I want to speak English, but right now I'm trying to English, my English is long. Anyway, it's much better to translate Jason short, okay? Thank you so much, Jason, you translate. And then get Tangmalane, Teringene, Samdigene, Sakadada, David, Samdishugius.
So I wish you everyone a good day. Welcome for our activity on Sakadawa.
And then the Paramita Center gene, Choranzo de, and then the Pebble Tangmagene, Gawa Kasuyus.
And we are so happy to welcome you for our activity at Paramita Center.
That didn't to share the morning again to do Cabarajin by Inzan, to do Cabarajin Sakadagi, and Mudu, Dordu Chigdan, Tenenganzo Gene da, Jig Nangshuge, Sawan over de Ningje, Ningbu over de, Chanjuk Sembe Imezan, Inzan, Ningje dan Chanju Senge, Mudu Jig Che, and somebody around Nyamdu, telling to do Cabarajin Inzan, and Nyamlentes, Ningjig Nyamlentes Chiais.
So today what I will talk with you is first just to introduce this special time of the year right now that we call Sakadawa. I will just explain briefly what is the meaning of that. Secondly, because the root of all Buddha Dharma, all Buddha's teachings is the compassion. So I will talk about the importance of compassion into our path to happiness and also the mind of enlightenment coming from there. And at the end, just a short practice on compassion.
Yeah, and to do the Chudu Jig the Kamachong in Nanjul Tarchigin, Choranzo, Ya, Tukzam Namogos, Talachimogos, Chudu Jig the Kamachong and Nanjula, and then it's our chickens.
So like that, our activity will last probably for a little bit more than 1 hour, maximum 1 hour, 15 minutes. So you can think like that.
다 대령에네 저런도 망차지게네 낭졸라 도나 유도니 시다접시래 대능 안종원안에 내게 신도직 교체 군웅 상부 중요한 제도 신도직 교체가 곰 퉁퉁직 하고 있어.
So as probably you are all already much interested about this philosophy of the Buddha, this Buddhist philosophy. So for this reason, I will just make for the beginning a short chanting. This chanting about to cultivate our inner peace and good motivation and small meditation.
Chodo Jazo Ju Simjen Damja Dewa Dan Deve Judan Dembara Juji Dungen Dan Dungen Ji Judan Chevara Juji Dungen Meve Dewa Dan Mindewa Juji Nire Chadan Nidan Deve Tangyam La Neva Juru Je Sanje Chudan Zoji Chodan La Chanju Badu Dani Jabsun Che Dagi Jinzoi Jive Tonam Ji Rola Benjere Sanje Rubai Chanju Semjo Rinpoche Maji Bana Jejuji Gawa Nyamba Miwa Yang Kongne Kongdu Pewa Oh yeah, Tainin Churanzo Ane Nage Kan Shema de Lago Churanzo Ane Dal Hulu Cheche Ane Nyero Na Senganzo Saje Tango Ane Tango Sakadawa Treshe Dinguju Dudushigos.
So I will share a little bit with you. So please just be attentive. I will do my best to share the most beneficial for you. So first, we will begin with a short introduction to what is the meaning of Sakadawa.
단단하게 간족에 분다 시발이스 분다 시발라 아니 간족에 찌게 나라다 부백에 찌신이 나라네 다와르레 나로라네 텐데세 까르마티조게네 투두제가 요레스 단다 푼다 시바디 사가 까메 밍라 사가 시그레 되게 투두제바 인자 사가 다와시 요레스.
So presently, in the lunar calendar of Tibetan astrology, it is the 4th month right now. So this 4th month is associated with the stars or the constellation of Saka. So we call in Tibetan language the moon or the month Dawa for moon or month. And this now the month of Saka. So we call Sakadawa, particular to this constellation.
되게 다와 디 나로라 투주 텐데게 다디 투주 될라니 산제 좀된데게 다 제바 망보 유벤날레 주에는 다 제바 개차와 카셔지 다와 디는 케디어레스.
So in this month, actually, this is the time where the Buddha's very important activities were done. There are many kind of activities that the Buddha did, but some of the more important were done during this month.
텐두발라타 산제게네 다 제바 안에 망부지 유베 나레 안에 제바체 마체게네 지 개차와 답시네 제바 중리여레스.
We say that the Buddha accomplished many activities. There are 12 of these activities that are the more significant.
텐데베 산제게네 제바 대조제 간족이 틱바 시중게야 룰라제게야 제게 대세 야단다보데
So according to the different Buddhist tradition, the different vehicles explain maybe this kind of activities that the Buddha did a little bit differently, but actually they all go to the same purpose.
타 산제 좀네 대경원에게 아니 남타라다고 제바 다 약쇼디 수생게레세네 산제 좀네데 냠두 투따두 다베 아니 산제기 샵주 슈도니기 기룩 숨요레 숨데 생게요레스.
So who is the more aware of these activities, actions that the Buddha did? Actually, these are the students that were very close to him. So there are 3 of these students particularly.
아니 대개네 숨데네 당보게제 저 제게네 산제게 취지 봉부 제디마 아니 제디 시동 숭인도 발라 주 주체다부 주 아니 제 아니 두베 아니 코르티제디 아니 말로라 심네 게인다부 쿠제도닝에니 녀와 코와 세기둑직세 어텐데직 여레 찍데레스.
So among the different kinds of Buddha's teaching that he gave, there was one category of teaching that we call the Vinaya. So it was the student Upali who was the more close to Buddha for that, and that's the one who explained that more clearly.
다니바데네 꿈가보시 그래서 꿈가보게 주체 땡해진게 디게데 주라버지 겐쿠체 슈니 기룩니바 테레스.
So Upali was more, the teaching that he kept was the one concerning ethics. And the second was Ananda, who kept more the teachings related to concentration.
Yeah. 다 선바데 주에네 다 주체에네 갈라오라 다 시랍게 덴데게 다 주체 다딜란도 ngombe 되는 주 제베 아니 덴데데 선바데레스.
And the third student was more aware, and he kept the teaching of the Abhidharma, or the related to wisdom.
텐데게 산제게 취지 봉부 제디시던 창마 주 누인도 발라 주체 될라 주체 되는 숨세 되는 숨게 때야게 조 주체들라 람라바 숨스다 아니 취지 봉부 제디시던 람라바 숨 마두주요 말레스.
So we say that all the Buddha's teachings are explained as being 84,000 categories of teaching. They are all included into 3 categories of teaching that we call the 3 baskets. And these 3 baskets include the teachings on how to practice the 3 trainings of ethics, concentration, and wisdom. This includes all the Buddha's teaching.
다 간다르 산제게 남타르라보다 산제게 다 제바다보 강강원에 하고니 기룩숨데 레스 당알 네 세부 시부지 시야요 말에 산제 시에슈베 간라네 나 자와 관련 유메하고 말에 나 시야요 말에 세부 시야요 말에.
So the person that are the more aware and understand better what the Buddha spoke about are these three students that we are called Upali, Ananda, and Mahakasyapa. So these three are the more aware. For my part, I was not one of these three students, so I don't know why at this time where I was reborn, what kind of rebirth. So at this time, I don't know. So they know, but not for me.
Oh yeah, that can that drinking share de, and dinner that low mambo get jela, no chata get jela ne, that and sing that chumbo gumbo ludu gene, then there's a Sanje gene, Jack Zava Jungi, those catch shot, what the Jungi de gumbo ludu ge and the tea should do, they tinjo de Naturana Madene, I share in Savake mess.
So now what I will explain to you is what was related by the great pioneers of the Buddha's teaching, like Nagarjuna, the great teacher Nagarjuna, who appeared in the world like a few centuries after the Buddha himself, after Buddha passing away. So he talked about 12 main actions of the Buddha. So that's what I will just relate to you.
Thank you, Balada. And Zeva Tango Dene, Gandene, Gandel Hai Yune, and that Miu, and that Jaga, like and the Sydney Pebres, Miule Pebas.
So the first of these 12 actions is where Buddha, before coming to our world, was in a place that were living with the gods that we call Tushita. So at this time, he left this place to go in our world. So from there, he went the second action that he entered through the mother's, the one to be our mother's womb. And the third action is where he was what we call the usual birth, you know, when he was going out of the womb. So these actions of going into the womb and going out of the womb is considered to have happened in this month of the Sakadawa. So after the fourth, we say that he was going close to a future eventual queen. The fifth action is that he became expert in different kind of skills like sports, craft, and education. And the sixth action is that he renounced to the future kingdom to go for ordination. So after he went for meditation for 6 years with very lots of difficulty in his meditation to achieve enlightenment, that's the seventh. So after doing this practice for the welfare of all sentient beings, he decided to go to the body tree, the tree where he would achieve enlightenment and sit under the tree. So that's the number 8. So for working for the all sentient beings, he decided at the 9th action to subdue all the negative emotions, or what we call sometimes demons, but the negative emotions in his own mind. And the 10th action is when he accomplished the perfect enlightenment. And also, this 10th action of achieving enlightenment is happened in this 4th month, the lunar month of Sakadawa that we are now. So after having achieved full enlightenment, he decided to teach to others. So he went to Varanasi in northern India to turn the wheel of Dharma and to teach the Buddha Dharma, number 11 action.
ngombar kunyangele debe chudembas.
And the 12th action is actually we call parinirvana. He just left his personal life and body.
Tendubada Sakada Nalolane, Tendegene, Sumba Kutambata, Sanjebata, Yangele deba Sumte, and Tendege to do Chabarge Sum Zomde Sigures, Yankajegi she, or Tendegene Tumsushuba de she, or Tendegada to do Sum Zumda, she zooms that in the Shaggy, that under the Chava Kemindux.
So actually 3 or 4 of the actions of the Buddha's life are happening in the Sakadawa at the exact same time. The birth, like we say, like when he went out of his mother womb, also the time he achieved enlightenment, and the time also he left his body at the end of his life at the parinirvana. So these 3, plus some add the 4th, like when he went into his mother womb, also they consider happen at this time also. So anyway, 3 or 4 action happen in this special time of the year.
Kandar, Dor Duna, Tenda Vege, Sakadawa, Tuzu, Chavarji, Inza, Tina, and Anzoge, that Gawaji Drubaine, Gawa de Narda, Mindravege, Nuba Champuchi, your sigures, energy, Nuba Kaka, your sigures.
So we say that because this time of the year is particularly positive because of these actions of the Buddha, that we, if we accomplish some kind of positive actions, virtues during this time of the year, it will be much more beneficial. It will be an increase of accomplishing positive compared to the other times of the year.
Tuzu de Bene, Sanjay Dendega, Sanjay, Tuzu Chavarajin, Sanjay, Be, Jege, Kutambe, Tuzu, or Tende in Bayinza Tige, and Tuji Chane, or Tendega Nubasha use, Langioris.
So we say that because the Buddha was so powerful, positive energy, he did this positive action during this time. So this time become like a very positive one with positive energy.
즉 부박이 카균다고 될라야네 때 다와 될라네 사가달라 붐줄지 다와스 개와 즉 dum네 붐이 용거를 텐데 그 카균이어레스 때 릭바다야 개 요말다 추와다야 릭바다 체리게 딱제 좋게 대 요말에서 나란족에 다지 그 군웅 상보직 삼로다는 텐데 그 카균 텐데 요레스.
So for this reason, there is a Tibetan expression that we say that Sakadawa, the 4th lunar month, is the month of the 100,000, because we say that if we do one positive action during this time, the potential of positive is increased, is multiplied by 100,000. This is a tradition to say like that, an expression. If you ask me what is the logic behind this, I don't have a special argumentation. There is no logic, but there's an expression. We say there's a very positive time.
야. 텐데 발라 텐데 사가다 투주 대랑한 쪽에네 다 낭바 속에 배 사가다 될라 배 투주 켜버려지는 배 텐데게 다 겨와 두비하게 투주 전에 배 짐바 땅야 안에 제 믹스하게 추름 숭야 오다 가리 총바 첨부 된데나 뒤다 사가다른가라 제 사간 총화돼서 고자야 계속 고제비나 제 계산에 배 셴나 팬도 두비하게 딱 간다래 배 잠닝지게 팬도 두비하게 투주 켜버지 지기 요레스 다 되는 도두 대가 인스.
So for Buddhists, actually, usually this time of the year will be a very positive one, a very special one, where they will try to do the best as they can to do positive actions and spiritual practice, as like practicing more generosity, practicing good ethics. If somebody, for example, some people, they have a shop or a restaurant, some will close their restaurant or their shop to give more time and energy for the meditation or spiritual practice, or even if they left open. So sometimes they will sell all their goods for no profit for this time, just at the costing price. Or for example, the restaurant will not cook meat for 1 month, just cook vegetarian, example like that.
Yeah. 다 된도 발라 안에 데르 두두 다가 인스 당 오주 두두 다디 망고 셰데네 안에 델레 당안조 안에 닝제단 잔죽심 셰는 페이지 데스텐터사레스.
So this is enough for the introduction. Now we go to more talking about compassion and mind of enlightenment. I think this is more important, more benefit than just talking about tradition.
만족에 드네. 셔야 되다. 주에네 tikwa chenpoke tabe chugi nyingbo drabude chanjuge sim tige tsawa drabude nyingji chenpo shares.
So in the Buddhist teaching, in the Mahayana, the very heart of the Buddha's teaching is the mind of enlightenment. This is the most precious thing. But the root of this mind of enlightenment is the great compassion.
근데 당아 닝제단에 찬죽심 두두지 셰고 두두시다 요아마레 교란조 두두때 요바데 탐진체네 야보징예네 제 레모지 교란조 제게 톤업지 이게 마지야 탑을지 되기나 두두 센디치기는 어디 센디체네 디게레스.
So during this short time we have together, I will explain the best as I can about compassion and great compassion and the mind of enlightenment. This is so important qualities. So also your time also is short. We don't have lots of time. So now you decided to come for this time. So use this time very positively by trying to listen carefully what I will explain. You can also for sure take notes to remember these things after also if you like.
대답에는 드링에게는 닝제단 찬주쌤 셔야데 드링 시야반에 교란조가 암조 날에 제 교란이 이기 남시 띵라 이라 첨배 띵라 안에 추바데 드링내 숭대네 배 추바데 상 마제파도 안에 생위 띵라 냐투야 첨바야 보 심쇼세 안에 간조 그 수도 지른가 시에 차도발라 제데네 돈다요 말레스 대체위는 원에 사가다게 날레데네 배네 제게 닝제단 찬죽생게 소소 생규를 사본 따버렸다. 뱀마세게 상 안에 고 담아 디닝가 산제브레 간조 디닝가라 닝제게 사본 따버렸 산제마데.
So I will talk about compassion and mind of enlightenment. So let these teachings deposit into your mind like a drop of water going into the soil, for example. So that this teaching will not just stop after today. Let this imprint into your mind, but let also it grow until enlightenment. You should try to keep that, to preserve that, to make your best that your mind keeps that until enlightenment. So that's the best thing. And if we look at the time of the year like Sakadawa, at this time, Buddha achieved enlightenment at this time. So now we have to start somewhere. So now today we will just start to have some imprints in the mind. We just start at this point today.
Oh yeah. 다 된대기 배에 제게 파바테조에네 다 드링기 사가다라 산제 고가요는 간조 소제 인자 산제 사보데 답에 고가브라브레스.
Yeah, so this time of the year is possible to do practice, to example, achieve and practice until enlightenment. But today we do practice of depositing in our mind some imprints or some seeds in our mind for making compassion and mind of enlightenment grow.
다 인데 숭시도 다 당보대네 자와 참박에 도디제레세 자와 닝제 메주나 까제 수바 니미 주르스 론데 둥에 메스나 셈젠 통심 치미토스 텐데 숭시도로다.
So the great Bodhisattva Maitreya says in his ornament of the sutras that the one who doesn't have the great compassion will not be able to be patient into the difficulty. And he says that the one who cannot tolerate the difficulty will have difficulty to accomplish the welfare of sentient beings.
당아란조 티바 첨보게 삼로라 난조 잔죽기 곰바토바데 셈제 탐제기 체드 녜게 다 텐데기 잔죽 곰바 토기 인스 꾸능데 셈제게 체드 셴지 체드네 짐바타야 수림 숭야 소바 고메야 어다 준루 베 텐데기 베 깨바망볼라네 제게 둥에나라 흉로고이나 베 준루지야 제조 장말로 셴 셈제게 체드 딱까지 베존셴네 산주 공부 토그봐 대토발라 자와 닝제 메나 닝제 정보 메베네 어 텐다베 깔레드도 아니 야두고 말해서 자와 닝제 메주는 까제서바 민주로서 어디 두고 말을 랍도 된동 알아서 닝제 정보데 신심정시도 깔레자와라 베 자완다고 개정보도
because in the Mahayana teaching of the Buddha, the essence of the path is to develop the wish and strive for achieving enlightenment for the welfare of all sentient beings. It's because we are concerned and we have compassion for all sentient beings that we need to put this effort, that we want to strive to achieve enlightenment. So for sure, this is not an easy job. So if we don't have the mind of compassion that is very deeply rooted in ourselves, so when we try to practice generosity and patience and joyous effort and all this kind of activity that we need to do to help others, it will be very difficult. It will be impossible at a certain point. So that's why great compassion is so important in this path. If we have the great compassion in our mind, so it will be possible to progress and to accomplish the path and to eventually accomplish the full enlightenment, because we will be able to strive even among the difficulty. We will be able to tolerate and persevere. But if we don't have great compassion, we will not be able, we will have to stop because the difficulty will be too difficult.
캡상 요아레스 다 동해대 거의 하 거인도 발라 동해 규제 쇼그래 동해 규제 쇼인도 발라 다 신의 규디 되네 다 방약 삼로 거인도 발라 안에 동해 시 두바제 구글에서 동해 시 두바다 동해라 서 두바제 구글에서.
If we have the mind of compassion, that means that we will understand what is suffering. When we understand what is suffering, so we will be aware of what we don't like, and we will find a solution to stop this kind of suffering. So we have to progress on the path to understand suffering and also to be able to tolerate or to be resilient against suffering.
대찬에 되는 인들라 도가세 론데 동에 미소나스 론데스 두 네조바 어 된다 잔주 공바 토벌 두니게 론데 되게 동에 미도나 심젠 통심 님이 주로세 라니에네 동엘 균에 도기 미도나 콜라 수미도바네 심진 통 과치도 그랬어 심진 그 통치발라 당부 라니 동에데 도도바 동에 쿨도바지고 그래서 심진 체도.
Yeah, we say that the wise one that cannot tolerate the suffering will not be able to accomplish the welfare of sentient beings. So first, to be able to do that, he needs to know what is the nature of suffering, and after to be able to accept it on the path to accomplish the welfare of sentient beings.
Yeah, interesting. Charles, 만족에네 벤젤로산 추진性的 심제 레레치야 나르미베 미나 깨바자주 내고자 닝제 미조 장죽 초존베 준주 발진조바 신이로서 된대지다 구구여레스 당원에게 시행심쟁게 장죽심 깨와를 된대지 구구여레스다.
So for example, the great master Panchen Lobsang Chögyен says that something like, even if I had to keep as a long time to help, like a great eons or long period of time, just for helping every sentient beings, this long period of time for each and every sentient being, inspire me so that I can be able, with great compassion, to persevere, to be able to do that. So we need, in any case, we need strong compassion to be able to achieve the welfare of sentient beings.
다 대체도 다 닝제데 메가다 레도와스 잔죽기 공반 토발라 안에 잔죽 심 고그레 잔죽 심 유리제와라 닝제 자와 메가다 레도와스.
So we see that to accomplish the purest kind of happiness, the enlightenment, we need compassion, because compassion will be able to make us produce the mind of enlightenment and after achieve enlightenment. So at the root, compassion is so important.
산제가 된데 송셔레세 산제버 드나스 추 망볼라 말랍스 추 찍라라버죠 추 찍데 간시나 디다데 닝제오 슬랍셔레스 닝제 코나 어디 랍셔레스.
Buddha himself said, if you want to achieve full enlightenment, you don't need to train in many kind of dharma, in many kind of spiritual practice. Just in one, it's okay. Which is this one? This is compassion.
다 된다왜 닝지의 란줄의 윤에 닝지 첨부의 요배네 등상한도 잠불링의 시대 라도와 아니 잠불링 시대게 속자다고 쏘다고 미게 쏘다고데 닝지 첨부들라 투그래 닝지 첨부 란줄의 윤에 잠불링의 다 시대 작그래 시대게 속자다고 샤도요레스
Nowadays, for example, we speak lots about peace in the world. We wish there is peace in the world. Actually, if there is mind of compassion in the mind of sentient beings, so the peace in the world would be possible. So the root, like the life root of peace in the world is great compassion.
단 닝지게 아니 칠레다고데 아니 셴라 차와빵스 이래 대인도 봐라 닝지 대야 베 차와 메베게 람게 쭈다고데 닝지 자기열에서 란줄레 닝지 윤에 셴라 차와빵게레스 차와 지기 말에 대인도 봐라 닝지데 베 체베 람게 쭈다고데 닝지레스
So the nature of mind of compassion is a nature of non-violence. So if we want to practice non-violence and to have peace in the world, so the main thing is compassion.
다 된도 닝제 대야 아니 시랍지 짜와 자그레스 시랍기 짜와.
The compassion is also the root of wisdom.
가르세네 만족이 보지 아니 낭대 친이 릭슝 되게 쭉 가르세네 시랍기 차셔지래. 대인도바 닝제대야 시랍게 짜와래. 닝제 매네 시랍 톱첨부 용투교 말해서 시랍데 톱첨부 야보 용하나 짜와라보데 닝제라 투기요래. 닝제디 시랍게 짜와래스.
Buddhist philosophy is mainly a path of wisdom, but the root of this wisdom is the mind of compassion. Without the mind of compassion, without the root of compassion, the wisdom will not be powerful.
야. 당한도 닝제기 냠네 시부지 시마토베나 나란도 두 따두 미툭두 발라 미 상보지 좁아 상보지 치tum네 야보여레세.
Even if we don't practice lots of things about compassion, but at least if we can be a kind person, a positive person when we meet others, this is very good.
베네간조게 미 펜주 툭두 발라 미기야 직베 가웨 미기 따두발라 바 가베 미그다고 따 미 따단데 아직 미 현다 파 미단도 현다데 비 유동게 미 따단데서 된대시다 칼레 계제셔도야 현게 연된다보다 콜라직 상조게 계제데도 배 셰한다보다 안에 즉 루지 좁아대야 배 현게 즉 가베 좁한다고 즉 안에 카대한 즉 줌시신다고 즉 시기네 현간에 아니 다 쇼레스로.
For example, at least, you know, what we can do when we meet other people, to look them in the eyes, to look them also with kind eyes, with a positive mind, with being inspired or happy to meet them. And also when we talk to them, so talking like positive things, you know, to make them happy. And also in our conduct, in our body actions, also to make things that will help others. So also looking with a very affectionate look, and also like easy to smile also, like that, it will bring happiness to others. So this is something very positive.
다 닝지신이데 계셔면 신송안서 다 닝지데 계주지시게 인스 닝지신 계주 가리미.
So you can see that compassion is so important. So what actually is compassion? I will explain its characteristics.
계주 숨도
There is 3 characteristics.
미바 남바 칠레 숨레스.
The object, the aspect, and the function.
미바 생이데 두 따도 안에 제 로와 리토게 심제 탐제라 니링다 제도니베 심제 탐제 동행게 코베 란신라 어디도라 니링데베 미바데 가두이나오 텐데지 아니 캬바메지 삼로다도 그래서 코베나라 텐데 칭데버지.
So the object of compassion, the focus of compassion is the sentient beings, all sentient beings that experience different kind of difficulties, problems, suffering. So looking at them without any kind of discrimination, considering them all equal, looking at them this way. So this is the object of compassion.
난저게 닝지 첨복에 계제 셰인도 발라 심쟁이 니링 빵스도 발라 즉 포무당 리루당 아니 카도당 아니 입당 아니 교축당 교보당 촉보당 된대게다 즉 릭 용수도 발라 개밤에 삼로당국래 시티 마제베 로바 미주고 마임바 로바 리툭 담제 코바에게 둥엘라 나르도니 지기 삼로직 땅뇽직 삼로직 땅구레스 안데 미바티 나로라 텐데 켜바지야 요 말이 출룩다 리루 켜바지야 요 말이 심제 담제 베 둥에 미도바 대와 도도니 라나 찍바 삼당구레스.
So when we speak of great compassion in Buddhist context, we speak of a compassion that has no any sort of discrimination. So it means considering all equal. So it means for sure the considering like people of different sex, of different ethnic origin, of different age, of different skin color, any kind like age and also a good having good condition of life or being more poor or etc. So, and not only that, but considering also all other kinds of sentient beings, not humans, for example, animals and even insects, considering all sentient beings to be not wanting to suffer and wanting happiness. So that's the kind of non-discriminative compassion we talk about when we say great compassion.
Yeah. And 로와 리투기 심제 담제 코베기 릭직임바 삼로당고레스 내단라고 찍임바 동에 메도 대화도니 내단 찍임바 릭직임바 삼당고레스.
So we have to think in this way for great compassion that all sentient beings, we call sometimes there is 6 kinds of sentient beings. All 6 kinds of sentient beings, human, animal, etc. They are all one category, like one family or one nature. We no discrimination among them.
된대게 즉 소와 대두 요도니 찍바 즉 남시 요도니 찍바 코발라 흉도니 찍바 된대 삼당고레스 산제 마이무다고 징에.
So except the Buddhas who are free from suffering, so all sentient beings are the same level in the fact that they have a mind, they have a consciousness, they want to be happy, they don't want to be suffering, but they experience the problem of samsara. So we have to consider them all equal.
Yeah. 딱 가리 개발에서는 수 땡데 루덴데 땡데게 개발 상이 누구여래서 땡데라 다 땡직 탑람 미신인데라 탑람 야가도지 땡 야가도지 땡기 개발지레 마더베 코베기 릭임바 찍발했다.
The only difference is about the support. For example, the body support. The time being, someone who's human or someone who's reborn, a human or animal, etc., there's different support. So we say that in the human support, we have lots of chance for progressing on the path. But except than that, at the foundation, we have all the same nature of the mind, and we don't want suffering, and we want happiness. So we are equal. So second, we have the aspect of compassion.
Number sininde 당계기 미바 전조게 심제 대다 담제 둥에다네 미도베 둥에 다 둥에 균에 제네 삼베 삼바 둠바데 어텐데지 고고여레스 제툼네 삼베 둠바지 고고레스.
So the compassion itself, the aspect of compassion is a mental factor that is an aspiration so that certain sentient beings be free of their suffering. There is a wish, an aspiration that sentient beings to which we consider be free of their suffering and their cause of suffering.
Oh yeah, 다 지레데 된다베 당기게 심제 탐제 미바체 된데 동인데 대바 둠바 슉 첨부 되게 다 지레데라 다 된데게 심제 대탐제 동에는 나르데바 셴네 디제데 제베 탑라 네 디체도 잔주주 공바 토기 삼태 제바 나게 차오 삼베 어디 된데게 심축주 구구 어렸다 단다 제발라 나야 코베나는 찍바 레샤 땅에게 디제데 제베 탑라 오는 게 삼마제나네 아니 콘도 제투야 탑라 민도 탑라 약쇼데 잔정 공바 레샤 디제데 체도 된데게 다 지레직 로슉 첨부주 구구 어렸어.
And the function of compassion is to produce a very powerful and strong and positive mind. That is the wish through observing these sentient beings having suffering and having the wish that they be free of suffering. Understanding now that we don't have the power to really help them. So the power to help them reside in obtaining the pure enlightenment. When we achieve enlightenment, we will be able to do our best to help others. So there's a strong kind of responsibility happening in the mind that makes us move the mind to say, I wish to achieve enlightenment because I will do something for helping the sentient beings.
텐자베 군루 상보 닝지 전부 텐대직 심베 토네 사가다와 디나나 개와 충중지 누구이나 따되게 드부 편파 첨부지 연구했을 때 야자 야탐바 연구를 가르세네 군룽 되게 팽겨여래세 군룽 상보 매발라 신라 로체바다 냠도 군룽 요분이 제베네 군룽 텐대 상부지 그 군들라네 개와 누구이네 디 드부들 랍 첨부 라와 지야데 ngobo 치중 찍바이면나 꾸능 되겠네 배네 드부 시부지 요레스 다된도 되는 원에 분규다완 로야겠다 저와 요레스 꾸능 되게 꾸능 식초법 가제에는 드부치아 용거레스.
So in this special time of the year, if we can generate this very positive and strong mind of great compassion in ourselves, and we will do even small act, positive act to help others, it will create a very, very strong impact of positive result. Actually, that's the main thing, is the intention we have. So doing the same action without a very positive intention like compassion, or doing the same action with the mind of great compassion, the impact will be so different, so much more positive. So the main aspect, the main factor is the motivation, the intention. Even if it was not in this time of the year of Sakadawa, the intention positive will make positive result. That's the main thing, is the positive intention.
텐데 산제게 삼바산의 사달라면 산 삼바면의 사달라면 탐제 삼바달라 라레소스 어다주 세밀 꾸능 상부치기에는 인지민지 사가다 구구마레스 가두체는 디기레스.
That's why we say, Lama Tsongkhapa says that if the thought, if the intention, the motivation is positive, so will be the path in the results. If the motivation is inferior, so will be the path in the result. Everything depends on motivation. So that's the main factor. Even if it's not in this special time of the year, if you have this special intention in any periods, for sure it will be a great result.
당한쪽 삼로 텐데지 따는 간조 안에 텐데게 닝제게 숭직 동고 삼로 대단에 간조 닝제게 숭직 동고로다.
So having this kind of attitude of generating compassion in ourselves, we will do short recitation of the mantra of compassion.
단단게 라바나신 그 삼로 군능 상보 대단쇼아스 닝제 셈제 탐제 코완에 대두 소소냠도 대로다서 양천도 삼로라 셈제 탐제 대알하요 삼 델하게 말에 셈제 마시세 셈제 탐제 랍쇼르 나 마도베 셈제 탐제 라비와 말레세.
So when we do the mantra recitation, the mantra of compassion, you have to think for all sentient beings. But when we say all sentient beings, you don't forget yourself, okay? Because when we say all sentient beings, it doesn't mean others, but not myself. You are also included in all sentient beings. Maybe you worry, you say, oh, if I think to all sentient beings, I'm not included. No, we are all included.
Oh, yeah. 텐데 삼로 당기네 자주 고바 토요일에 누바차요 그래서 란다 셈제 탐제 누발라 어디 누바 랑아 지고 삼로 당바다 셈제 탐제 지고 삼로 당베네 셈제 탐제 삼로 당도 뒤 누바데 슉차와 유자 셈제 탐제 당게네 삼로 당게 이네 자주 공바 토비알라 욕보다 누바차요 그래서 나 상제비쇼 지고 삼로 당데네 두두 망하고 누바총어요 그래서.
So even for yourself, having a special compassionate attitude will create more benefit for yourself also. Because when we consider all sentient beings, the power of that compared to only thinking, I want happiness, so wishing the happiness for all sentient beings, even yourself will create more fast, more powerful, positive result of happiness also. So that's very important, the the depth of our motivation, thinking about all sentient beings is the best thing, even for ourselves.
진도 봐라. 예란 남지 란도 코나 삼네 자주 공개열에 자주 선바 남지 현도 삼네 곰도 봐라. 숭어 토구열에서니 자주 선방을 토구열에서.
So the person who thinks only for oneself, he say, I want to achieve my own liberation of suffering, or the other person is a bodhisattva, is thinking, I want to help all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment. Who will be first to achieve enlightenment? The bodhisattva, the one who thinks to all sentient beings.
야, 되는 자주 선바데 로 짱부샤디오레세 옹본 노바 고민 옹본 노보 오노시 그래세 거기 삼로데 슉쳐와 땅도 그래 거기 냉가드도 생겨야 셈게 심 가리 콘도메 심 콘도야데 란진지 콘데베 인자 자주 선배게 란진지를 좀 통제 셴데 공원이 제가 터버렸다.
So the bodhisattva, the one who practiced the Mahayana path, is the wise one, is the intelligent one, because through eliminating the main cause of suffering, which is the egocentric mind, through his practice of love and compassion and mind of enlightenment, so strong for others, actually, he has the best technique for achieving his own happiness also. So bodhisattva is the wise one.
Okay, now we do just short example. I show you to practice compassion mantra. Jonji magu gundo ganzo san jenje wula jen tuje jenje rola ze jenre sigla cha tse lo. Om mane beme 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 Gawa diye nyudu da jenre zewan drujurune rawa jigya malu ba diye sala govarajo chanju semjo rembo je ma je bana je je jawa nyamba mewa kone kondu pe barajo. Okay. 다 대링에 지단 뺀다보데 지단으로 뺐다면 만도베 얘네 사도는 민도스 망보직 두도요 말했어.
Today I just made with you a short example on how we can do the mantra of compassion, Om Mani Padme Hum, but not a long period. We don't have too much time today.
다 두도 때지 두 당에게 되게 닝제대 추담제게 자와 인생이 요래서 시럽대 추담제게 사본 인생 닝제대 추담제게 So I
just want to explain a little bit also about how the compassion is the root of all the Buddha's teachings.
Yeah,
just for a brief moment.
딱 가디오는 안쪽에는 닝제대시베네 수지봉부 제디시동게 자와인스 단계 산제게네 산제버도네 초 망볼라 말랍 초지라 랍 되는 닝제 첨보인 랍두가 된도 닝제대 개 첨보인 베네 다 자와인당지 셰고스.
So as we say, the 84,000 kind of Buddha's teachings have the root of compassion, and also Buddha said we don't need to train in many kind of dharma. If we train in just one kind of dharma, it will be if like all the dharma were practiced. So the dharma is compassion. So how this compassion is so important and the root of all dharma.
다 닝제 신이데 단계 시합은 난생게네 둠바 둥에다 둥행게 유 텐도게 둠바지레로다.
So this compassion is, as we said, an aspiration to be free of, to liberate from suffering and cause of suffering.
텐도 닝제데 삼로 담발라 야부 닝지 약부지 요마연데 둥에 시마실라 라레디요레스.
So also to have good compassion, it depends on understanding suffering.
Tido danga tiring dungenge namra mangboje shendo mindu shegi mes da ngone chene ningji de da dungeng yakboje she mashile rale go yores dungenge neluk de yakboje shensone da ningji tijige de top shembo cha yongres na tiring tuzu mindus.
So today, I don't want to give much detail about the nature of suffering. I don't have time also to talk about that, but more we understand about the nature of suffering, more it will give good strength to our development of compassion.
Tendege dunge yabo she goibege jomzen delane sanjege cho tangbo sungdubala dambashige dene dunge damba wos dunge she bar cha tangbo khora dunge she bar cha sungdu waso dunge yabo she bayine 다 닝지 약보지 용거여스 닝지 요선에 초담제 자와 람탐제 자와 대신에 람라 주거여스 동의 약보시에서는 대신에 된 람탐제 자와 닝지 되는 닝지 약보지 용거레스 닝지 요선에 다 람라 죽투거여스 타르바단 잔주 람라 죽투거여 주게 탑데 닝제리 닝제리 약보 요면 동의 약보시에 마시레 된도 산제 당보 동의 시에버 차스.
Also Buddha himself, when he began to teach, when he taught the Four Noble Truths, he began by teaching the truth of suffering. And he said, you have to understand what is suffering. So through this understanding of suffering, after that, we will be able to develop compassion. And this compassion will be the root of all the paths. So after we want to be free of suffering, because we know first what is suffering. So compassion acts as the root of all the paths.
산제 당보 동의 시버시 책 당보거나 소야의 닝제기 셰도 송버레스.
So when the Buddha he began his teaching by saying, this is the truth of suffering, you have to know the suffering. So this is through the power of compassion. Also, he explained that.
다 된도 닝제의 동의 시버라 라렌도 발라, 텔라 라레도 발라, 다 동행게 코베 동행게 랑게 코베직 녜송게 동행도 야보시인도 발라, 디 닝제 되게 시베 텔레 트렌도게 닝제 되게 아니 제베 템발레 주베 잠로스 람지 고탕부 제베오데 잠로 되네 용그레스 소소게 베네 코베 녜송게 둥에 디줄라 야보지 마시베니 잠로 남다 레기 마레 잠로게 주데 아니 둥에 당봉원은 둥에 야보지 시고야 돼 잠로 주레 된데 발라 잡수 야보지 잠로 야보지 발라 아니 둥에 되네 용국도 와스.
So compassion will arise in our mind because we understand suffering. So this understanding of suffering is very important for developing compassion. Also, if we think about the different kinds of suffering that are experienced in the bad kind of rebirths, where there is much suffering, so thinking about this kind of problems and sufferings will make our mind to take refuge, to look for a protection. So that's why the understanding of suffering is very important. Just for beginning the path and taking refuge, this is very important.
안에 배에 제베 템바 주고 고짬로 신이 당보데 배에 나도 제고고 곧 당보라버데 다 잠로 대야 닝질 되는 연구를 했어.
So like that, for this reason, we say that compassion also is necessary for generating the door of the Buddha's teachings, which is taking refuge.
되네다. 제 나란도 타르바 뉴문바 빵베 동해 시버체 군중 빵버차스 군중 빵베 빵바 타둑디 타르바레 타르베 고데 닌중레스 닌중테야 코와게 찌게 찌다 시다게 동해라 야보시 시네 어 텐데게 둠바 닝지 텔라데네 에네 닌중제게 요레 텐도 닌중게 짜와데 에네 데 닝지 샤도와스.
So also for the achievement of the liberation of the nirvana, we have to abandon the origin of suffering. So that's what the Buddha said. You need to abandon the origin. So for abandoning this origin, we need to produce the door of entry to the path to liberation, which is the mind of renunciation. And this also comes from understanding what are the general sufferings of samsara. So we need also the mind of compassion for generating this.
다 된도 발라 제그라니 제 코와네 제네 타르바 토발라야 되게 공인 중에 짬도 고그래 되게 짜와데 닝젤라 라레게 두가스 닝지 짜와세야 대적 되레스.
So like this, the compassion is the root of the dharma for taking refuge, is also the root of developing the mind of renunciation for achieving liberation.
다 니바데 아니 신심제 탐적지도라니 잔주주 공반 토발라 특바체목 토발라 아니 특바체목 고 chanjuk sim ramboche res chanjuk sim ramboche de matoba tibachimu lamla shungnana chanjuk gomba thoba yomares lam node yores lam게 고 티과지모 고데 잔죽 셈나 인제 민지 잔죽이 셈게 고대 유는 로고도 바데 잔죽 셈게 싸와야 당기 시아바나 신제 닝제레 닝제 첨부 닝제면에 잔죽게네 텐데 셈 토야게 텐데게 유는 고갑이 요 말이 잔죽게 공바 잔죽 셈 맞dom네 티과지모 람는 주가 요 말 대면에 잔죽 공바 토야 요 말 된도 바는 잔죽게 싸와 닝지 라레기도 왔어.
And also in the Mahayana, for sure, to achieve enlightenment, we need to produce the door of entry on the path of the Mahayana, which is the mind of enlightenment. If we don't produce the mind of enlightenment, there is no starting point for the path to enlightenment. So we need to produce this mind of enlightenment. And this mind of enlightenment is produced from the root of great compassion. So compassion is also important at the root of the Mahayana, for sure.
텐라베 닝지 첨부 대라 때네 잔죽심 토비아 누가스 티과침부 고 잔죽심 토비아 누가스 요레스.
So we can see that it's because of the great compassion that we can after develop the mind of enlightenment and begin the path of the Mahayana.
텐라베 닝지 첨부 대토와 라야 나란조 셰기 요바스 텐데게 로장야라 준데 맹아 뉘시니노바 아디샤기 숭조 텐데게 제세 전부 시발하게 순교게 다신 냠제권에 란 진진기 jon통 신 진진기 연대통 되네 다신 냠바체 되네 아니 다신 냠바체 되네 jon다 연대통네 다신 제외 삼로당 되네 아니 동네 곰수도 발라 아니 참바다 닝지 전부 고미야 셰기도 와서 된도 반 닝지 전부 뷰를 깨발라야 로존 때 시국도 다스 레라부 민도 다스.
But also to generate this great compassion, there need to be some preparation, some causes. For example, when we see, as in the Lamrim, we have the two methods for developing the mind of enlightenment, the 7 cause and effect instruction coming from Atisha, in which we train in stages also to produce the great compassion, and also in the second method coming from Shantideva, which is the equalization and exchanging of self and others. In which we need to first equalize the mind between myself and others, and after reflect about the faults of egocentricity and the qualities of altruism, and after produce the real exchange of attitude between myself and others. So also for generating the great compassion and the great love, we need to make some causes also preceding that. It's not easy job actually.
아야 대인데 말라 나란조 남지 가두이나 난조게 안에 람림 생지 셰게 열에서 디두나나 다 찾아 셰게 열에서 다 람지름 바 찾아.
So these steps, they are all clearly explained in the works like the works of the Lamrim, the steps of the path to enlightenment.
대인데 말다 단다 디 닝지 첨보게 텐데게 다 토비아 데부 잔죽심게 토바 텔라야 다 란진진게 쫑톤에 란진지 빵국도 알다.
So to be able to develop this great compassion and after the mind of enlightenment, we need to abandon, to diminish and abandon the opposite mind, which is the egocentric mind.
대다왜 란진진데 용세 짜와데 가르레서네 단지레스 단지 란진진데 마고 제주라고 세주 루두발라 다드 진베 단진을 툭도 요레스 툭사 짜와데 단진게 되는 간조 란진지 연결 툭사데 단지레스.
So this egocentric or self-cherishing mind has also as its root the self-grasping mind, the grasping to a false self. So we need to remove that, also a special antidote, which is the wisdom that realizes selflessness.
단지레스레송아.
Self-grasping, yes.
단지레스.
Self-grasping is the root, yeah.
오야. 다 단지인데 안에 매버서야 년보대 잠바다 닝지 다 닝지 말했어. 다 닝지 라쿠고요 말했어. 단지를 툭도 닝지게 다 라쿠고 말해. 잠바다 잠 닝지 탑게 차게 다 단지 매서 라쿠고 말했어. 라쿠고요 말했어. 투기 말했어. 된도 발라 다고 라쿠니 단지 매버서야 탑데 고고 년보 다 가르세네. 담에도 왜 싫어하고 그랬어.
So this self-grasping, which is the root of the self-cherishing mind, cannot be reduced. The self-grasping cannot be reduced, cannot be counteracted by only the qualities like love and compassion. This self-grasping mind has to be reduced and eliminated by its real antidote, which is the wisdom that realizes selflessness.
다다당아란조 탑지차 잠닝지 잔죽심 대족에 당아란조게 마직 단진다 대조 년부된도 발라 미게 가로지 마데 로투그레스 단심파도 가로지 년부된 통그레 아니 짜와 미게 투윈도 발라 다 잠닝지게네 다 년부된 통말 남에도 그 시랍 코나를 라레 그래 대인도 발라 닝지게 사본 시랍레스 시랍게 짜와 닝지레스 다이 닝지단 시랍니 다 베데 도조 자기 열에서 찍찍 떼는 마도베 다 소소는 로사 요마레스 숭두도 그래서 다 숭두.
So the method aspect of the path, which is compassion, love, and mind of enlightenment, they will be able to stop or to control the self-cherishing mind, but they will not be able to eliminate the self-grasping mind. The self-grasping mind has to be eliminated by its antidote, which is the wisdom realizing selflessness. So that's why we say that the both are important, method and wisdom. Wisdom being like the seed of compassion and compassion being the root of wisdom. So one depends on the other.
텐도 발라 텐데게 잠닝지 잔조 그셈 찍보게 안에 단진데 매버 소투고 말해서 딘진데 매버 소투고 말해 야네 텐데게 제게 잠닝제게 시럽 찍보게 소투고 대야 소투고 말해 텐도 탑대 시럽이 다 숭두 만도나네 다 유는 요 말에 숭제도 그래서.
So to accomplish enlightenment, we need the both aspect of the path, method and wisdom. So if we have only the method part, compassion, love, and mind of enlightenment, they will not be able to reduce the self-grasping mind. So if we have only the wisdom aspect also that reduce the self-grasping mind, also will not be a complete path to achieve enlightenment. We need the both together.
텐도 발라 다 가만라실라다 제세 전부 지왈하다 라마 쫑카바 창막 인데랍시도 없세 탑단 제베 시랍단 제베 탑타 대인가 칭원인스 텐데기 대선에 인간로다 너르르 강하게 전에 대인가로 빵미자 빵주요 말에 베냠도 로그레스 랍시도 없세.
So the great Indian or Tibetan masters like Kamalashila, Shantideva, Lama Tsongkhapa explained that method that is dissociated from wisdom or wisdom dissociated from method will bind us. We need the two in union to be able to achieve our goals.
텐도 발라 인데 순서레스네 반에 다와 잡게 군주디야 쇼야 제주바 강배 제보되네 기본 강바인 눈두다네 개별론주 쇼도지 제와연데 자도 파루초든 로 슬랍시도 텐도 전화도 장마 탑시 숭리 나로낭스.
So that's what also the great Indian master Chandrakirti says, that the king of the swans will be able to lead all other swans to the other shore of the pure happiness with the two wings of the conventional and the ultimate. Yeah, so you give this kind of example to show us the importance of the two aspects of the path. Like a bird who needs his two wings to be able to fly in the sky, we use this example to understand the importance of the two aspects of the path.
Thank you so much. You listen me. I'm so happy you are really listening. I think you are like this teaching. I think everybody be careful, listen. I'm so happy with you. I'm more happy, you know. Now we know to each other. Then I'm more happy with you. I want to share, continue. Just enlightenment. We go together. Just enlightenment. I'm so happy you coming this privilege to share this similar teachings. Yes, this similar teaching, but it's useful. Our life is useful. This compassion, you know. All the relationships, or friendships, anyway, we need this compassion and love, harmonies, you know. Always we need to keep the positive mind. Always we keep good relationship with other people, then we are happy. Other people happy, we are happy. So that way we do best life, happy life. Thank you so much. I do small, short, happy chanting. Okay. Jambe bawu chedara chimba dang kundu sangbo tenyang teshende teda kunji jesu dalob che Gawa deda tamje rabdo ngo tu sumshikbe Gawa tamje ji ngo kana chodo ngakbat dage gewe tsawa digunjang sangbo chuchire rabdo ngo wara ji. Voila, exactement time is coming. Doing 1 hour 15 minutes, I say not 10. It's perfect. Everything is okay. You are welcome. If you're busy, you can go. If you somebody maybe some question, no problem with Jason, you help you. Voila. Then.
Thank you so much, Lama. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I will open the mic if you like to just speak.
If you Jason you something. Message, okay, you tell them next time you have practice this 1 day retreat, you know?
Yeah, so next, you can look on the website, the next activities. So for example, next week also, on Sunday, there will be a short activity with Lama Samten also for generating the mind of enlightenment, some kind of practice together. So if you like, you're welcome also. We do in the morning, like just for like starting the day, and after we encourage you also during the day to do like spiritual activity during the day, meditation, and more like 1 day for meditation practice also. It's very good, so you're most welcome. You can see on the website. Yeah, so micro are unlocked.
Thank you very much.
Garçon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Lama Samten.
Oh, so nice to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lama Samten. Thank you,
Welcome. We are happy with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. Thank you.
Jason. Thank you, Lama.
Bye, all.
For
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
sharing those precious teachings.
Yeah, you're welcome.